Okay, hi. So this is gonna be the extension part of the desert temple part. Say you just did all of that, you got all the items, you towered up. What do we do next? Well, in ranked, the desert temple is always going to give you the items you need, like enough iron to craft the stuff you need. Sometimes it doesn't, like it gives you 4 armor, I mean 4 iron, which is very rare, but I think it does happen. Anyway, say that the desert temple gave us some good items like this. One thing to remember with desert temple seeds and with ranked in general Minecraft speedrunning is that food, like one of the things that we're gonna need from the overworld is food. Another thing we're gonna need is iron and a flint and steel. Flint and steel. We're gonna need a bucket and we're gonna need water and a lava pool. These are pretty much your bread and butter of every single run, starting with a desert temple seed. So one thing desert temple seeds are known for is that they don't give you a lot of food. Food is, again, there's a lot of stuff you need, and it's up to you at how you get them. Every run is going to be slightly different. Sometimes there's no like clear way to get all of these stuff every single game. Like you're gonna have to figure out, okay, what do I need? What's the closest thing to me? And then do the best thing in the moment. So it's kind of like you need all of these things, but it's up to you at where you find them. And yeah, like you have to figure that stuff out. I'm just gonna keep explaining. So food from desert temples usually isn't the best. So one thing you're probably gonna have to do is kill a bunch of stray animals for food. And like you set them on fire and kill them for their food. Well, not their food, they're the food. Uh, there's 2 ways to do this. So one of the first ways is simply finding gravel and crafting a weapon. So if you find gravel, and gravel you can usually find it. If you didn't find it at the bottom of the temple, then you'll probably find it in a body of water. Gravel likes to spawn in rivers, not swamp rivers. Rivers like these though, gravel can spawn. So there's gravel here, there's gravel here, there's gravel here, there's gravel here. You can find gravel in rivers. And also you should probably know, if you place down a pressure plate on the bottom, make sure there's no blocks around the pressure plate, and then you swim into it, you can trigger the pressure plate. And if you right click the pressure plate with a TNT, the TNT is going to get placed above the pressure plate, and because you triggered the pressure plate, the TNT is gonna get triggered and it's gonna fall into the air pocket of the pressure plate. So if I place the TNT here and I trigger it, because it's not in an air pocket, it doesn't explode any of the blocks. But if I place it, and hey, remember what I said about TNT damaging you if there's not a block in between you? Remember to place a block in between you and the TNT even though you're underwater. If you just do the same thing and it falls into the air pocket, block yourself off, and now the TNT breaks the blocks. So now the gravel is exploded, you get flint. That's a fast way to do it. That's another thing you should probably think about when you're starting with a desert seed. You should be using your TNT to explode stuff because it's faster to explode them than to manually mine them yourself. So even when you get to your first tree to get wood so you can craft tools, use a TNT. You can place down a block next to a tree or even two and then trigger it with, I mean, I guess you can trigger it with a flint and steel. but you'd ideally have your pressure plate to do this. You just trigger it and you get a whole bunch of wood without having to break any with your hand. So yeah, gravel is important. Use TNT to explode stuff. It's faster than breaking it yourself. And okay, let's say you did that. You exploded some gravel, you got a flint, and you exploded a tree. Now what? And also, because you have a flint and steel, you can kill animals. So say that you crafted a stone axe, and that's why you don't tower up with the cobblestone you get from the temple. Because if you tower up with the cobblestone, then you, say that you don't have any more cobblestone because you used it all up towering up out of the pyramid. Now you're gonna have to dig down to get some more stone so you can craft a stone axe if you didn't get enough other ores to craft your axe. But now that we have our axe, using the cobblestone we got from the desert temple, we can kill an animal if I can find one. Well, there are a bunch of animals over there. Now, an easy way to do this is by just setting them on fire, the block they're on, and then chasing them down with an axe, critting them, you get cooked food. Pigs and sheep are really easy to do this too, but when you get a cow, you probably want to set the ground on fire and then with a half charged hit of your weapon, push them into the fire and then hit them again. And you do that because if I just set the cow on fire, it runs around really fast, and sometimes it's really hard to catch a running cow. But if you nudge them into the lava with a, like, okay, not like that, that was an accident. Like, that wasn't a good way of showing it. Let me just, cow. If I just like nudge it into the fire, it kind of makes it slightly easier to kill them without like running around way too much. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's one thing you should think about when you're starting a desert temple seed. The food you get out of it isn't gonna be the best a lot of the times. Like rotten flesh is really terrible. So killing animals when you get access to fire is a good way to do it. Also, there's gonna be lava pools around when you're starting a desert temple seed. So if you don't manage to find gravel, but there's a lava pool and you do have like access to wood, you can craft a bucket, all that stuff, then you can take lava out of the lava pool and use that to kill the animals. You just place it down at their feet. Make sure not to right click the cows with the bucket because you're just gonna milk them. So if I just place the bucket down and then right click, I get milk. That ain't good. So pick up the lava and just place it down on the block it's on, and just notice how many damage ticks it takes the animal. I think cows take 3, so like 1, 2, 3, and then pick up the lava, and then you should get the food. I think the same thing with pigs. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's another way to do it if you don't have a flint and steel. So say you did all that, you got food, you got gravel, and you got your tools. And you did it all while using TNT. So let me just craft some tools. We're gonna want to make a... Well, I should explain something first. The way we get into the nether through a desert temple seed is by crafting an nether portal, or like building a nether portal using a bucket. And we can make a nether portal with a bucket because lava, if water touches or gets in contact with the source block of a lava, it turns into obsidian. And if you can use this mechanic to make the shape of a portal using buckets, then you have another portal using buckets, which is a lot easier than getting another portal by mining 10 obsidian and then building it normally, because it takes a very long time to mine obsidian, and it takes an even longer time to get your hands on a pickaxe that can mine obsidian. So this is like very time consuming. It doesn't take a lot of time with buckets, or like one bucket. So like getting a bucket is really important, and it takes 3 iron to get a bucket. So the desert temple is probably gonna give you enough iron to make a bucket so you can make the nether portal, and probably another iron so you can light the portal with a flint and steel by getting gravel. So like, let me get gravel from here. Say that I just like broke a bunch of them and then one of them dropped me a flint. I can use one of the iron that I got from the desert temple to make a flint and steel and then light the portal. But how do you make a portal in the first place using bucket? So let me find a lava pool. Here's a lava pool. You grab some water with your bucket, you go to the lava, and these are all source blocks. So to prove that, I'm just gonna place a water down. Notice how they all turned into obsidian. That's because the water is getting into contact with lava source blocks. If they weren't source blocks, if they were flowing blocks, like these ones flowing from the source, then it's gonna make it's gonna make cobblestone, which isn't what we want. Anyway, these are source blocks. You want to go to a row of source blocks, at least 4, and then place a block in like the 4, like split the 4 into one. There was a source block here, but it's gone now because I placed a block, and then 2 source blocks. Then place a water against the block that you just placed on the inside of it. So the source blocks around the water get turned into obsidian, and the water takes the place of the lava source block. Then you break the block that you placed, so the water flows into the empty space. And remember, because you placed a block on the lava, the source block of lava is removed. It's not gonna turn into obsidian. And then you're gonna build a tower over here like this, and you're gonna build one out of it and build a little 2-block tower, I guess, or like separator on the side of it, and place your water against the side of the tower you built, like over here, not the branching block, but the block, this one. I think I messed it up, but that's fine. I'm gonna build it over here. Sometimes the water flows out. Hang on. 1 second. Actually, I'm just gonna keep going. Sometimes the water just flows around and you can't really, like, you can do something about that, but sometimes you get unlucky. It happens to everyone. But the way that you build it, like this way, is supposed to prevent it from spilling over onto the source blocks. So I'm gonna try again. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna do the same building thing, but on this side. It doesn't matter which side you do it on. You place your water, and it's supposed to be like this. Now you can just pick up the, what do you call it, the lavas, and fill in the shape of the portal. So here, here, against the block you placed on the tower, the one that's branching out, against the obsidian